I had run across this problem so many times. It was so frustrating.
Wow. Look at that.
So, yeah, you play around with these and you're going to be messing with them all day long. Okay, so with getting down to the valve adjusting, a gentleman had asked a question on one of my previous videos that he had the valves just about adjusted right, and when he went to lock down on the lock nut, it wouldn't hold the adjustment. So with these, if your valves are just a little too tight or a little too loose, and when you try to, take a couple of smidgens off that tad there one way or another, and you got your feeler gauge in there and everything's looking really good, and then you go to tighten that nut down, it just doesn't hold it. If you're looking to get it a little tighter, it's too tight. And if you want your valves just a tad loose, it becomes too loose every time you lock it down. It's so frustrating. I've learned the hard way. Back in the 70s, I used to do this for a bunch of buddies. Oh, I had about 8 or 9 clients. Well, they were friends. And I was adjusting and changing their oil for them for like $10. And I had run across this problem so many times. It was so frustrating. Well, these things develop memories. And what I think is attributed to that potential memory is the threads sometimes on these get a little tweaked, particularly if your valves are holding adjustment for a very, very long time. I get the feeling these things may stretch a little bit like clutch bolts. Okay, so in a rebuilt motor, these aren't new. They always put the old ones in, unless they're really thrashed. Here's the old one. The corners are all messed up on the lock nut. The slotted shaft there for the adjuster screw, that's a little chewed. This nut's frozen on here. This is the way I just pulled it off. I just unlocked it and screwed it all the way out. The bottom of this adjusting screw is pretty shiny, which they do get. Well, so to get around that problem, I just learned, just replace them. Now here in my right hand, that one there, that's brand new. You can tell the difference. They come, there's 8 in the whole set, and they're a little pricey, but they're worth it. Look how nice that lock nut just runs up and down that adjusting screw. And so you just put this puppy in there, in that rocker arm. You put your feeler gauge in here at 6,000s. You just spin this guy down, you lock it in. It's a done deal. It's so cool. The newer ones, as you can see, is also a slimmer nut. This is the proper size. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a makeshift 13 millimeter. And sometimes you just can't get it. If you're using the old ones, they're just going to hold that lock position. This guy's really frozen on here. And I only ran this motor 500 miles. We're at the 500 mile valve adjusting oil change stage in it, and that's just, oh wow. I got these at Wolfsburg West in Corona. I think it was like $12-13 for 8 nuts, 8 screws.
All right, California.
Yes, Wolfsburg, yes, Corona, California. I'm sorry. That's it. 3,000 happy more miles, and we adjust the valves, change the oil again. Thank you. Happy farfignugan.